Welcome to the Art of Dress. Today is a special video. It is a thank you video for 1,000 subscribers. And I'm going to share with you something that I haven't shown you before, and it has to do with the relationship of the styles, and I'm going to put them in order for you. So it's very exciting. I'm showing you one picture of each of the styles, of the 13 styles. And then some insights at the end that will take all of us into a little bit of style astrology. So thank you for coming, and thank you for subscribing. So today what we're going to look at is how the styles wear, fabric weight, design or detail, and scale. And so for each one of the styles, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to put them in order. So up until now, we really had the order of focal point, and that formed the yin-yang wheel. And then there was a slightly different order for alpha and omega, but that was forming the star of style, if you remember. But that was still on the yin-yang wheel. So we're going to look at this and see what happens when we put the styles in order of weight of fabric, of scale, of design detail. That would be things like cuffs, lapels, things like that. And also how much simplicity, which would be the opposite of design detail. So in terms of fabric weight, Jordan Dunn, Elaborate Romantic, is number 1. And what that means is the lowest. So if you put a weight, if you weigh 1 pound or 1 kilo, that's a low weight. So it's going to go from 1 to 13, and she is the lowest. She is also the lowest in terms of scale. So how much of a cuff can she wear, the size of her buttons, things like that, scale. And number 3 is going to be how much detail, how much design detail. And you can imagine that she has the most design detail, but that is the lowest amount of simplicity. So she is number 1 for simplicity, number 1 for scale, and number 1 for fabric weight. So if we're going to put her, and also a fire style. So who comes next? Who is the next up in terms of weight, etc.? And what we have is Frida Gustafson, Refined Classic. And she is number 2, so still very low weight. Still very small scale, number 2. And quite a lot of design detail, or small in terms of simplicity. So 2 across the board. And she is an earth style. You might notice the V-neck line and the way the detail is kind of structured, and that's symptomatic of an earth style. The hair, by the way, has nothing to do with earth style. Hair is a combination of artistry and coloring. So a lot of people think hair connects to style. Not so. But anyway, here we go, number 2. Now let's go to number 3, and that is Joan Small's True Gammon. And she is a water style. You can see clean lines, but she wears the number 3 for fabric weight, and number 3 for scale, and number 3 for amount of simplicity. So she can carry a lot of detail. Now you'll see people wearing clothes, especially as a model, that are far different than their perfect portfolio, you could say, their own innate portfolio, where they would not only look the most harmonious, but feel the most harmonious. And of course, if you're a model, you specialize in trying to hold your body in such a way that you overcome your natural tendencies. But nevertheless, this is where she is, number 3, and a water style. And number 4, and this is forming a group, because you can see it in a bunch of different ways. We had already a fire, an earth, a water, and now an air style, 4 elements. So completing our first group. This is also, you can see she is an air style because look at how her detail just looks a little bit messy or really relaxed and, you know, really like sort of as if she's not trying too hard. And yet she wears a lot of detail, and she wears also a very lightweight fabric, number 4, and also a small scale. So besides the fact that we have one of each element, another thing that these 4 styles have in common is that they vary their silhouette top to bottom. That's the element of space. If you think of a 3-dimensional space, top and bottom is one of those dimensions. And for every person in this group, either the top of their silhouette is alpha and the bottom is omega, or vice versa, the top is omega and the bottom is alpha. And that depends on artistry, but it holds true for everyone in this group of styles. So we're going to call this group, or I already call this group, ornament styles, and we're going to ask these 4 people to stand in a circle. And so the first one was Jordan. She was the fire style. Her style symbol is based on a circle. The second one was Frida. She's the earth style. Her style symbol is based on the oval, refined classic. The third one is, the third style is Joan, and she's true gamma, and her style symbol based on a diamond. And the fourth was Gigi Hadid, also a romantic like Jordan Dunn, style symbol based on the circle, and she's the air style. Again, they are numbers because we're showing number of weight, scale, and also simplicity, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the silhouette varies above and below, and that's what they have in common. But one more thing I could just mention here, because this will hold true for every single person we're looking at today. You know, we're giving these people a number, but these numbers don't only apply to these 3 categories. They apply to everything in your fabric qualities. So for example, Gigi, she wears soft fabrics as a true romantic. Softness is the fabric quality that belongs to romantics, and yet her number of softness is number 4. Not that soft, but number 4. And that would hold true for her in terms of how much texture she can wear. That holds true in terms of how much, when she wears, because she's a harmonic, she wears shine. How much shine can she wear? Number 4. So it has a lot of application for every single person in trying to understand your own style. So now let's go on to number 5, and that is Josephine Scriver, and she is refined natural. And now we have moved into medium. So here we have a medium fabric weight, we have a medium scale, and a medium amount of simplicity. And another thing that you can see on this dress that has to do with her group is the way space is looked at or used, and space is varied side to side. And you can see that in this dress. Notice how it's all asymmetrical. No one wears asymmetry better than, well, these 4 styles basically are the definition of asymmetry in a way because of variation side to side. And they wear the one shoulder, the one sleeve better than anyone else because of varying side to side. And in Josephine's case, she wears the a one shoulder even ruffle so well because she varies side to side. So she is an earth style. You notice how all the pleating is there, like that's one of the hallmarks of an earth style. And we can go on to the number 6. And this is Arlenis. Arlenis Sosa, true natural, medium weight, medium amount of scale, and medium amount of design detail or simplicity. And you can see from how this is not the hair so much, but look at how her top, it is in pleats, but the pleats are almost irregular. They're kind of falling out. It's like they were half done. They're so relaxed, air style. So Josephine was earth, she is air. Now we come to Micah Janelli, refined gammon. And she is number 7 in terms of how much fabric weight. So climbing, number 7 in terms of scale, and number 7 in terms of how much design detail or simplicity. And she is a fire style. You can see all of the detail converging into the center, the hallmark of a fire style, and very intense, always intense. And now we come to number 8, and this is Candace Swanepoel, and she is a true dramatic. And you can notice the cleanness of her line. She is a water style. So once again, we have 4 elements of style. And she wears number 8 in terms of how much fabric weight, getting to just, in fact, she's just over the middle, but still in the middle category. Mid-weight fabrics, mid-weight scale, and mid-weight amount of simplicity. And there's actually more going on in this dress than you can see, but I wanted you to be able to see some of the seaming that's here. It doesn't show up very well on this picture, but just to see that she actually carries quite a bit of design detail, number 8. So that's not that simple. Okay, so let's go to our circle where we're asking all of these 4 styles to take their position according to weight, scale, and simplicity. And here we have another group, and these are the line styles. And I don't know if you noticed that these all 4 are fitted to the body, that is alpha styles. And that's part of being the line style, is that showing the sort of the underlying line is much easier to do when you are a fitted style, and they all 4 are 4 elements of style, and they vary spaced side to side. So there we are, the second group. So now we're going to move on to the fabric styles, the heavy styles. This is number 9. This is Yasmin Gowrie. She is elaborate classic. She is a fire style. And you can start to see that she's wearing, like, for example, the pleating is happening at her focal point, no place else. And simpler constructions, larger scale, and heavier fabric weights. And then we come to the first of our true classics, and this is the fitted true classic, the Alpha True Classic. So the Alpha True Classic is number 10, and she wears a heavier fabric weight, she wears a larger scale, and she wears a larger amount of simplicity. You can kind of see the scale here because look at the size of the petals in her texture. And she is also a fitted style. Now, in the way True Classic works, there are only 4 artistries altogether for True Classic. It's just that 2 of the artistries, in her case composite and also the architectural, they are the alpha version, the fitted version of True Classic. The other 2 artistries, the sculptural and the harmonic, are the omega version, not fitted, and that is Elle Fanning. And so she wears, you can see that the earth, she's like an earth style in the sense of all this pleating, and she's doubling the chiffon here. It's a fabric that's actually pretty lightweight for her, too light, but by doubling it, she's giving it more substance. And you can also see the sculptural aspect of her in the way the flowers work. But this dress doesn't show it so much, but she's also in most always a very clean line. So she combines the earth element and the water element, and Leah combined the air element and the fire element. So here we have sort of a subgroup, a little mini group on the inside. And in a minute, I'm going to show you what's going to happen where they stand on the circle because of that. And then in addition, in terms of space, I don't really have good examples of this in this group. I've shown them before. Because I'm trying to show close-ups and give you the feeling of the style, I'm not able to show you that they vary front to back, and that can be with the hem. It can be high in the front and low in the back, or the opposite, low in the front and high in the front and then a train, or it can be where the front is longer. And they can also vary on their the top of their silhouette with ornament on the front and not the back, and vice versa. Well, actually almost everyone wears ornament on the front and not the back, so they don't really do that, but they can do special things in the back. Like, for example, maybe a peplum that's extra long in back, but that would be, sort of connected to their jacket, not the skirt. So lots of ways of varying space here. And she is the second, number 10. So now we come to number 11 for fabric weight, and this is the very beautiful Anais Mali Elaborate Gammon. And she can wear a heavier fabric, she can wear a larger scale, and as you can see here, and she can wear a much smaller quantity of design detail. And so she is the air style of this group. Yasmin was fire, she is air. And now we come to number 12, we're almost at the end. 12 out of 13, she can wear quite a heavy fabric, and she can wear quite a lot of scale. I already mentioned before, she can wear like a very large cuff, and she can also wear a large amount of simplicity, not too much design detail. So you see the spacing of the pleats would be like the design detail, and she wouldn't need those to be so tiny, but the pleating itself doesn't come under the heading of design detail. That's fabric embellishment. So that's a different thing, and we're going to talk about that in the ornament when I get to ornament, which is soon. And the other thing you can see that she's an earth style. And there's something else I wanted to point out here. I pointed it out with Gigi Hadid, but I want to point it out with Rosie as well. So remember that we talked about how these numbers have to do with all the fabric qualities. So she wears softness. She can wear 12 out of 13 for softness. She wears a very soft fabric, softer than either of the true romantics. She can wear a large texture, or a large amount of texture, not size, but amount of texture. And that's because she is 12 out of 13. So that's why she could wear like a whole dress that had like sequins, like large sequins, because of her number 12 out of 13. And a large amount of simplicity. And finally, we get to the number 13, which is Chanel Iman Elaborate Natural. She can wear the heaviest fabrics, 13. She can wear the largest scale, and she can wear the largest amount of simplicity. So from a design standpoint, you can see here that this sleeve is just straight. Nothing happens to stop it on its way down. Her silhouettes can be completely straight. And she has a water style, which affects the kind of like those button things that she's using. She also wears print. So the strength of that makes it like a combination of print and fabric embellishment. And they can be quite large because of her being number 13. So here we have the 13 styles. Now I'm going to ask these 13 women to stand in a circle on a wheel for us. So here is what we have. We have all of the styles, and the fabric styles are the last 4 that just joined us on the wheel. And you can see that underneath the word fabric, where it says FAWE, fire, air, water, earth. So I'm showing you that this is where the true classics are forming their little subgroup. And that's another reason for them to go in the center, because they complete the 4 elements, and they are the 4 artistries, and so they sort of form a little subgroup. And then we have the four elements of style: fire, air, earth, water. And we also have the silhouette for all 4 of them, varying from front to back. So this forms a group that I call fabric styles, the heaviest weight in fabrics, the most magnificent fabrics. All of them wear, of the 4 on the outside, all of them wear soft fabrics except Yasmin Gowri, because the softness of the fabric is important in showing its splendor. So Now I'm going to show you the wheel with just the numbers. And so here you see a summary of the numbers, starting at the bottom with Jordan, the elaborate romantic number 1, number 2, the refined classic Frida, number 3, the true gammon Joan, number 4, the true romantic Gigi, and there are the ornament styles. And then we have number 5, the refined natural, that was Josephine. Number 6, Arlenis, the true natural. Number 7, Micah, the refined gammon. And number 8, the true dramatic Candace Swanepoel, the line styles. And then our final group, we had number 9, Yasmin, that's elaborate classic. We had Leah and Elle, the true classics. We have number 11, and that's Anais Mali, and she is elaborate gammon. Number 12 was Rosie Huntington Whiteley, refined dramatic, and number 13, Chanel Iman, elaborate natural. So this is ranked in terms of weight, scale, and simplicity. And when you do your style analysis on my website, which I promise you will be here within 30 days, I'm almost done with all the changes I made to make sure that I can make it work as much as possible for you. Most of my work has been around the quiz because I want to make sure that the styles are so well defined that you can really tell what you would not wear. You might not know what you would wear, but you will probably know what you would not wear. And that's been my intention. I've revamped it completely since the early part of the year. And another thing about that is that I'm trying to make the styles as expressed as possible, meaning that they are as much in the style as I can make it. But just this is another element of expression of style, if you want to use that term, because it's telling you how much of your fabric qualities you can wear. And it's also putting the styles in another order that we have not seen before. So this is the order according to weight, scale, and simplicity, not focal point like the yin yang wheel. And now I'm going to show you what happens if you put the zodiac names next to the style symbols. Don't forget, these style symbols came from the Platonic shapes. That's part of the Platonic solids. And they are ordered according to weight, scale, simplicity in groups that form according to element of space as well as the element of style. So whether dimension of space, not element, so a dimension of space, meaning above or below, like the fabrics, the ornament styles, side to side, like the line styles, or front to back, like the fabric styles. And here you can start to see Aries, dead ringer, Taurus, similar enough that you can see it. Gemini, true natural, it's easy to see. Cancer, the same as refined natural. Leo, it's a little twisted, but it's still visible. Virgo, not so much. Libra, very much. And Scorpio, not again as much. Sagittarius, absolutely. You see the hunter there. Capricorn, you can kind of see it. Aquarius, absolutely. And Pisces, very easy to see. So we have achieved a zodiac wheel of style. And in fact, the zodiac signs do have an impact. They do have a reflection in the 13 styles, with true classic being in the sun balance. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. Astrology, it isn't so much that we find astrology as that astrology finds us. So the art of dress and the zodiac wheel of styles. And we will see this wheel again for some other things as well, because it has more insights to offer the art of dress. So thank you very much for coming, and thank you for subscribing. And in my next video a week from now, I'm going to start on the last part of the introduction to style, which is ornament. And you'll notice I said introduction to style because there's a lot that I have left out, a lot of details and even insights, just because we have to start somewhere, and the art of dress is something to grow into. It's truly the journey, not the destination. The destination is cool, the journey is even cooler. So I'll see you in a week. Thank you again for coming and subscribing, and take care.